What makes a climate transition strategy effective? And what are the roles of boards or companies in this?
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Tansri, and thank you very much for the question. I think we're going to be pressed for time today, Tansri, so my presentation may lack detailed explanation. But if anyone is interested in more elaboration, please feel free to contact me or Climate Governance Malaysia. We are here to save the planet, Tansri. So, Tansri, for an effective strategy, it first starts with understanding the threat and consequences for everyone caused by global warming and the climate crisis, just like Tan Sri Jamila alluded to earlier. The next step is then to have a firm commitment to do whatever we can and need to do to stop the crisis. We then need to have an in-depth analysis of our organization and to identify the role the organization can play in a low carbon economy. For some companies, there may be no role, but others may need to re-engineer their operations to have a minimal or negative carbon footprint. I think this is what Tunku Taufik was alluding to in his presentation. We then need to look at the risks in transitioning. These include financial costs and may even impact the results of the company. Some transition journeys have fallen apart because results have been affected and shareholders have pulled back. We also need to look at our human capital to see if staff need to be upskilled or reskilled if necessary. Tunku Taufik was also talking about the lack of talent, for example, in Malaysia. So I think all these areas need to be also addressed. Tan Sri, one should not forget that there will also be opportunities for the organization to take advantage of in both the transition that companies have to go through and also new products and services that will be needed in the low carbon economy. Tan Sri, for the second part of the question, ultimately, it is the board that is responsible, and everything I said before is for the board to do in discharging their obligations. Climate Governance Malaysia, as you pointed out, is a World Economic Forum initiative, and we are fortunate that the World Economic Forum has 8 guiding principles to assist boards to address the climate crisis. The 8 principles are, if you allow me to explain, it's 1 is climate accountability, 2 is the board structure, 3 is command of the subject, 4 is materiality assessment, 5 is strategic integration, 6 is incentivization or executive compensation, 7 is reporting and disclosure, and 8 is exchange. I will discuss in brief these guidelines. Principle 1 is climate accountability. Boards should be accountable for the company's long-term resilience with respect to potential shifts in the business landscape that may result from climate change. Failure to do so may constitute a breach of directors' duties. I think a lot of us, following the news, we've heard so much about independent directors being removed from boards for various reasons, and a lot of them are for climate accountability as well. Principle 2, Tan Sri, is command of the subject. Boards must have understanding of the effects of climate change for their business. Directors don't have to have a PhD in climate, just be knowledgeable, or at least bring in an independent director who has climate experience. Principle 3 is board structure. As the board drives the direction for the company, it is imperative that climate matters be discussed as a board agenda. Full board meetings are always, packed. So it's better that, there is a board sustainability committee, or in the case of my former company, we handled it at the board governance and risk committee, so there is board oversight. Principle 6 is incentivization or executive compensation, including climate KPIs of the CEO and C-suite in the remuneration always produces innovative thinking. Principle 7 is reporting and disclosure. It is important for the good of the company that climate change be included in their annual report, just as Tan Sri Wahid said, where sustainability is now mandatory. Advertising their progress will be good publicity, and vital for their image. I know in Malaysia, companies are already using TCFD, and this is a great start. Principle 8 is exchange. We agree that the board can have meaningful conversations with management, but it is best to engage with external parties like NGOs, academicians, and scientists to get the latest data and science on climate change to be better informed, Tan Sri. Thank you very much.